Ontario's premier declaring a state of emergency as a standoff with truckers continues. The Freedom Convoy now blocking the Ambassador Bridge, the largest link between the U.S. and Canada, forcing some Michigan auto plants to shut down production. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg are urging Canadian leaders to use federal powers to break up the protests. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has yet to meet with protesters, but he's asking Parliament to end what he's calling illegal blockades. Meanwhile, Ontario courts have frozen over $8 million raised in donations from Christian crowdfunding site GiveSendGo. The site responded on Twitter, writing, "Know this. Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over how we manage our funds here at GiveSendGo. All funds for every campaign on GiveSendGo flow directly to the recipients of these campaigns, not least of which is the Freedom Convoy campaign." Steve Hilton, what say you?
Well, this is actually a really historic political moment, Emily, because it crystallizes something that's been in the works for a good few years now, which is the complete political realignment that we saw, I guess, starting with President Trump and the rise of populism with Brexit in the UK, President Trump here in America, where it was the Republicans and those on the right who actually started standing up for the working class, for working people. And you saw that in a policy sense. But now what you're seeing is the cultural sense too, because you've got the ruling elite, the Democrats, the left, their allies in the media, the stooges who just parrot the Democrat talking points, openly smearing and attacking working people, taking the side of the elite against the workers. That is a huge shift in our politics. And so, of course, it's about the specific issues, the demand for the end to these ridiculous mandates, which are not justified on any public health grounds, any kind of scientific grounds. We know that. We've talked about that many times. And we should keep making those arguments. But actually, this tells us something much deeper about what's going on in our politics. And it's a really encouraging development as far as I'm concerned, because what it shows you is that the Republican Party, as President Trump was leading the way, is now becoming a multiracial working class coalition. And long term, that means that this is a really optimistic moment for people on the right, because it shows that far from what the left has been saying for so long, that demographics are all on their side and they're going to win the future. No, it's the other way around, because working people are a bigger and stronger force than the elite, and they're going to win out in the end.
That's absolutely right. And Kaylee, unlike the last 2 years, when cities being burned down and people being killed were given a peaceful pass by the media, these peaceful, rational protesters have been vilified.
Totally vilified. And the Daily Mail went there for days and said these people are nothing but peaceful, kind, hardworking Canadians, rather. But you have this CNN crazy person, she's an analyst apparently, who tweeted this: "Slash the tires, empty gas tanks, arrest the drivers, and move the trucks." So in other words, you will take the vaccine, you will lose your livelihood, and you will not speak about it. I mean, how sick and twisted is that tweet right there? But this has come to be expected. I will say this: have you seen that show Hoarders, where like there are hoarders who like hold on to like rotting items in their house? Well, Justin Trudeau and Joe Biden are the COVID hoarders officially, hoarding these COVID edicts. Like, it is rotting the child mask mandate, the employer mask mandate, the vaccine mandate struck down by the Supreme Court. But they're the great hoarders of COVID-19. Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, the edicts rot, but they just can't let them go.
And so, Julie, Kaylee brought it up, the fact that when the reporters actually do the work, they uncover the fact that these guys are 100% peaceful. So we can throw it up on the screen here. The fact that a reporter embedded with them said, "I've spoken to close to 100 protesters. Not one of them sounded like an insurrectionist, white supremacist, racist, or misogynist. They sound like average, regular people who moved to this country to build a new life." And they quote a trucker that said, "We lived under communism already. We immigrated here. And yet now in Canada, we're now fighting for our freedom." But the media continues to spin this in a way that's absolutely inaccurate and also, frankly, threatening to them.
I mean, first of all, it's disgusting to disparage the truckers. The truckers are what bring us our goods. The truckers are the ones that could potentially influence the inflation crisis that we have in this country by delivering the goods. So first of all, open the border, number one. Number two, the Ambassador Bridge accounts for 20% of goods brought into the United States, which is about $100 billion in trade revenue, in actual goods that we are using, cars and food and all these other different supplies. I can't understand why any president or prime minister would want to hamper our economy and quite frankly, Canada's economy in the midst of COVID when we're already at our lowest of lows. And to take it out on the truck drivers, I mean, honestly, we depend on them so greatly. And there's already a truck driver shortage in this country because of the mask mandates to begin with. So why in the heck would you, kick them while they're already down?
Right.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And Carly, the false narrative about these guys is that they're anti-vax or that their vaccinated status somehow dilutes their position, but it doesn't. They are protesting against vaccine passport and other contact tracing programs, vaccine mandates, and against the divisive rhetoric.
Yeah, no, Emily, you're absolutely right. And there was a trucker who was interviewed on Fox and Friends this morning, and he said that he's a 60-year-old grandfather who was protesting because he lost his job because of the mandate. His 31-year-old son also lost his job. His daughter, who was pregnant, felt like she was forced to get vaccinated. He said that Canadians are punishing their own people. And then he asked Justin Trudeau, how far would you go if somebody was taking food off of your family's table? So what a powerful question that is. And I wonder how Justin Trudeau would answer that. I think that this protest is a story of perception versus reality. What the media wants you to believe versus what's actually happening on the ground. First, we were told that it was just going to be a few hundred truckers. That turned out not to be true. Then we were told to believe that they were racist bigots with unacceptable views. Also turned out not to be true. And this is really not going well for Justin Trudeau. There's a member of his own party, a Liberal MP in Canada, who said that these truckers, their concerns are legitimate and should not be ignored. Is this bridge blockade a problem? Yeah, it is. But one way to solve it is for Justin Trudeau to meet with these people and work something out.
Exactly.
That's right. Give them the respect of actually listening to their message rather than throwing around epithets from his throne, as Steve put it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.